Good day, my name is Angelo. This is Nation's Voice Tower, that hub that keeps you updated on issues pertaining to the political system in Nigeria and as it borders the masses. Thanks for joining us. Now, I want to talk about Bola Tinubu's purported drug case in the US. I have a file that just fell out. I stumbled over it, and I will always give credit to our sources who don't back down in giving us first-hand information. Credit to Jackson PBN for all the exposés. Credit to PDOM Nigeria for all the exposés that we've been working on that come from them. Yes, the few that come from them. Now, I would not waste much of your time. I have a brief expose that goes further to link the story on how Pa Kafaru Tinubu, that name is familiar, right? Pa Kafaru Tinubu, the father to Wale Tinubu, the chief executive officer of Owando, who was a police officer and the former commissioner of health, and then he was also the purported person who Bola Tinubu grew under, or under whose tutelage Bola Tinubu was, and he was also the alleged brother of Abibatu Magaji, who is Bola Tinubu's mother. I have a particular file that links all of them together, allegedly forming a drug cartel. This might be the link that had these three people come together: Bola Tinubu's mother, Abibatu Magaji, Bola Tinubu himself, and the police officer Pa Kafaru Tinubu. Yes, this authenticates the family link between these three people. I have proofs to show that Pa K.O. Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Abibat Mogaji were convicted for narcotic crimes in the early 70s. So please stay tuned and listen to this expose, because you will hear stories that you've not heard ever in Nigeria. Okay, no wonder there was a link between the said female Bola Tinubu, Pa Kafaru Tinubu, and Bola Tinubu himself, and Alaja Abibat Magaji, who is Bola Tinubu's mother. Everything is becoming clearer now. Everything is starting to fall in place. Everything has started becoming clear. So let us get it straight. The Nigerian police has been an entity that has really had lots of bad eggs emerging from it lately, okay, and right from time. Amongst its rank and files are criminals, drug barons, and lots of people who have, been indicted over and over again. Some of these people came back home to become politicians. Some of these people came back home to join the Nigerian police force and all that. But that is not the baseline of our discussion today. Pa Kafaru Oluole Tinubu, who is the father of Wole Tinubu, the owner of Owando, was a senior police officer. I have brought you that updates before, who served as a federal commissioner for health in the 1970s. He was allegedly a drug lord based in Lagos, according to our sources. He was the same person who created and rechristened the alleged Yekini Amoda Ogunlere Shangodele, who is now known as Bola Tinubu. The new Bola Tinubu ran drug errands for Pa K.O. Tinubu and his then sister Abibatu Mogaji, who is Bola Tinubu's mother, within the Lagos area before he was shipped to the United States to join one Mr. Adeboyega Muiz Akonde. Akonde would later bring one Abiodun Agbele, who in 1993 let the cat out of the bag and named the drug cartels during interrogation by officials of the United States Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA. At the time, before he was arrested, Agbele was supplying one Mr. Lee Andrew Edwards heroin using 7504 South Stewart Avenue, Chicago, Illinois as his address. Mr. Agbele is currently languishing in Nigeria, according to sources, after serving his jail term in the United States for narcotic crimes. He cried out for Bola Tinubu to help him, but nothing has been done to him. These narcotic crimes were crimes he carried out on behalf of the Tinubu drug cartel. The Tinubu drug cartel abandoned him after he broke the oath of secrecy, revealing members of the drug cartel to United States authorities. This Alhaji Kafaru Oluwole Tinubu, Bola Tinubu, and Abibat Mogaji, who was the mother of Bola Tinubu, were all prosecuted at the United States District Court of Illinois for narcotic crimes in 1993. While Tinubu preferred to forfeit $460,000, per KO Tinubu was refunded more than $1 million because the United States laws wouldn't allow them to take all the seized funds. These were the details. So while Bola Tinubu forfeited $460,000, Kafaru Tinubu forfeited $1 million. That was all in proceeds of drugs and narcotics. Okay. Now on your screen, as you can see, is a very, very important document from the United States District Court, Northern District Court of Illinois, dated 15 September 1993. Okay, this particular document says that the first heading says, in the matter of the United States versus funds in accounts of 163226700 et al. That is, and so on. Okay, with case number 9364483. Appearances are hereby filed by the undersigned as attorneys for the people that were in this crime, which were the claimants according to this court order, were Bola Ahmed Tinubu, K.O. Tinubu, and one Alhaja Mogaji. These were the claimants in this, or the owners of that bank account, as named in this particular court order. All right. And there were other details too, and it was stamped by one Thomas G. Bottom, the clerk of the U.S. District Court, Northern District of Illinois. And it was certified on the 10th of August 2022. That was when this file was released. Okay, but the file is dated to as far back as 15th of September 1993. The other document is an affidavit evidencing the compliance with General Rule 39, okay, still from the United States District Court, Northern District Court of Illinois, the Eastern Division, okay. Still, it says it has the claimants of this account to be Bola A. Tinubu, K.O. Tinubu, and Alhaja Mogaji, and it was dated 15th of September 1993. Okay, the heading of this particular letter, or this particular document, says that the affidavit was for particular amounts of money that were forfeited in this particular account by the above people. Okay, and it was signed and duly, dusted by the same court clerk on 10th of August 2022. So you have seen it, that it is now real that K.O. Tinubu and Alhaja Mogaji, the mother of Bola Tinubu, and himself were involved in this drug cartel, which had him, come close to incarceration. The same drug cartel that implicated Muiz Adeboyega, and then it implicated Mr. Agbele. These three people have been linked with Bola Tinubu over and over and over again. So this is a part of the files that the FBI will be releasing on 23rd of October about Bola Tinubu's criminal records in the United States. Please stay tuned, because this particular record will come in full. 500 pages, according to the FBI, will be let out first before the subsequent documents would come up. Thank you for paying attention in that video. I hope you make it go viral, and I will urge you to please make this particular update go viral so that all Nigerians and people outside Nigeria and beyond will know what Nigeria is into, especially in this political season. Second update says Libros Oshoma, a Nigerian lawyer and an activist, has spoken over the controversy that trailed the appointment of Ola Olukayode as EFCC chairman, over whether or not his appointment was according to the EFCC Act. Please listen to Libros Oshoma.
We criticize Buhari's nepotistic appointments and then gloss over Tinubu's nepotistic appointment also. It means that we owe Buhari an apology, because Buhari's appointment, we all agree, were nepotistic. Tinubu's own is following, if not worse, in the same path. But that said, I also want us to first and foremost look at Section 7 before we go into cognate experience. Section 7 of the EFCC Act. Section 7 of the EFCC Act actually states, permit me to read, the commission shall, see, it spells out, if you go to, no, Section 8, it says the secretary shall be the head of the secretariat of the commission, shall be responsible for the administration of the secretariat and the keeping of the books and record of the commission. That is the job of the secretary of the commission. So I know why I'm going there, because Olukoyede was a secretary for 2 years of the commission. So if you now go to Section 2, talks about that the executive chairman shall be a serving or retired member of the government, government security or law enforcement agency, not below the rank of an assistant commissioner of police or equivalent, and possesses not less than 15 years cognate experience. What is cognate? Related experience. There is already a law that says this is the rank you must attain. And in law, there's what we call a rule of interpretation. When specific laws are mentioned, and there is a general rule, that general rule must derive from the specific law. There is only a specific law in paragraph 2 that says it must be somebody of a rank of an assistant commissioner of police. So the related experience means experience in the security areas, 15-year security organization, or in the equivalent, either government, not private now, security and government security. So in this case, this young man was made chief of staff to the chairman. Who is the chief of staff? Chief of staff is head of administration of an office. So are we saying now that if you say you count those years he was chief of staff to the chairman, that means the cleaner to the chairman also will be qualified? That means the driver to the chairman, after all, is a driver to the chairman. So you cannot begin to talk about cognate experience. That is not the experience that the EFCC Establishment Act intended. And so we shouldn't be standing law on its head by saying that it's private legal practice. I'm a private legal practitioner that been practicing law for close to 30 years. Does that mean that I have cognate experience in security matters? The answer is no. So we can't begin to talk about your private legal practice years in Yemi Oshiba and Joe and Co. as the experience in security or security related matters. The answer is a complete no. And I think we should learn to interpret laws the way they are. This idea of standing law in its head, at the end of the day, the precedent we set today, just like the bad precedent that was set by Buhari that others are following today. Unfortunately for me, this government, they knew everything wrong with Nigeria when they were in opposition. And they told us how Nigeria would work better if given the opportunity. But unfortunately, they're in government today and they're even doing worse. None of them is talking about all the ideas that they promoted: fiscal federalism, unbundling of the country, amendment of the electoral acts to remove the powers of presumption of regularity in favor of INEC and all of these things. And yet, you want to make simple appointment as simple as the EFCC chairman. You still want to stand law on its head, and then somebody, rather than apologize to Nigeria and say, well, we didn't look at it this way, we're sorry, so we will redo this. You're trying to force it down the throat of Nigeria, and they're trying to stand law on its head. It shouldn't be allowed to stand. And seriously, this is not. And sometimes when I hear some people talk about this same act, and I ask, is it the same EFCC act that we're already in, or is there a different word for cognate, distinct from the one that they are talking about? When it's as if you're banding cognate, as if cognate is a word that stands on its own. It doesn't have meaning in Nigeria. Cognate, we all know, means related. So do you have related experience, 15 years related experience?
All right, I've said countless times that the appointment of Ola Olukayode has been somewhat out of the EFCC Act. Okay, according to Libros Oshoma, the federal government are trying to stand law on its head, which is not supposed to be the case, because there were stipulated rules and stipulated, let's say, constitutional laid down laws that the EFCC follows before appointing, or that the president should follow before appointing someone to be, or an individual to be the chairman of the EFCC. The commission has an act that needs to be followed accordingly. But we saw it vividly that the federal government did not take this seriously, and they turned law upside down by appointing Ola Olukayode, who falls short of the Section 2 of the EFCC Act, of him being the chairman of the EFCC. Well, we'll see where all this will take us. Finally, stakeholders and truck drivers have called for the federal government to intervene in the terrible condition of roads in somewhere around Edo State of Nigeria. Please listen to a brief documentary from Channels News, where these truck drivers and stakeholders made their grievances to the federal government. Stay tuned.
Haulage trucks going about their businesses. It certainly isn't an easy road. Navigating through these roads are not only tortuous and nerve-wracking, they also cause damage to the body, undercarriage and tires of the vehicles. These tipper truck drivers constitute part of those who have to plow through these roads. The roads, as far as they are concerned, are a killjoy.
No road, a situation where driver will be on the road will now begin to experience what they call hold up, that cannot keep you for 1 week, 5 days, and the owner of the vehicle will be calling you, bring my money, you are not balancing and all. So the thing is really telling on the association. We will appeal to the federal government to put politics aside, because with what you are experiencing so far is politics.
The Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has consistently raised his frustrations to the federal government, asking them to do the right thing and save people from their misery.
It's like a war situation where we cannot move within our state, because whereas we are blessed with an extensive network of federal roads, because of the lack of capacity of the federal government to maintain its roads and assets, and the unwillingness to allow other people to maintain these roads, we in Edo are almost cut off, and the country is almost cut off.
The Minister of Works, David Umahi, recently dropped by to do an on-the-spot assessment of the situation in Edo State. He gave vent to his feelings about the federal roads in Nigeria.
We shall no more do surface dressing on our shoulders. I have directed that all projects must stop and be redesigned on concrete. The truth is that there is none of this road built from Abuja to Benin that will last the next 5 years. That is the truth. And that is very, very unfortunate. And so they are going to do this. And contractors do not expose the subgrade, the sub-base, the base course to traffic compaction. Most of the time we don't do compaction tests or what you call penetration tests. These are the reasons why our roads are failing.
With the soaring cost of prices of goods and services, it is hoped that these roads are fixed as soon as possible, because good interstate federal roads play a significant part in the efforts to build.
Okay, politics aside, sentiments aside, the federal government need to step down and fix these roads for the people of Edo State. These roads are federal roads. They are not only roads that affect the people of Edo State, they are roads that have to link up states. Okay, and if locomotion or if movement within states is being halted for days and weeks due to the bad road conditions, that means there are lots of economic activities that would not really go forth, making Nigeria to lack economically, especially in those aspects that have to do with road transportation. Hence the reason why we call on the federal government, whether legitimate or not legitimate, please fix these things. We have Dave Umar here as the Minister of Works. I hope he's doing something about this. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like our videos, share them. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section. If you're watching me for the first time, tap the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that we'll get to link up when I drop a new update. From my table, I'm saying, see you next time. Bye.